For your consideration, Max presenting The Last of Us, the HBO original series starring Pedro Pascal as Joel, a hardened survivor hired to smuggle Ellie, a 14-year-old girl, out of an oppressive quarantine zone. What starts as a small job soon becomes a brutal and heartbreaking journey as they depend on each other for survival. Don't miss the critically acclaimed series Empire calls a masterpiece. Nominated for 4 SAG Awards, including Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series. The Last of Us is now streaming on Max.
From Variety, celebrating more than 118 years covering the business of entertainment, this is the Award Circuit Podcast. For Rustin star and now Oscar nominee Colman Domingo, there is something magical about doing this film.
Everything about it has been very, and I use the word gentle, which I don't think is a word I use often when it comes to getting a film out. You know, you're trying to cram it into some audiences' heads and make them force them to go see it. You know, but this feels gentle, and it feels like it has the spirit of Bayard Rustin around it.
I'm Michael Schneider, and on this episode of the award-winning Variety Award Circuit Podcast, we talk to Colman Domingo just hours after he landed his Oscar nomination for Rustin. Also on this episode, the Roundtable goes through those Oscar nominations and looks at who got the biggest momentum and who landed the worst snub. It's all next on this edition of the Variety Award Circuit Podcast. Stay close. Hey everyone, we are live in the studio, and at time of recording, it is just hours from the announcement of this year's Oscar nominations. Hello everyone, I'm Variety's Michael Schneider, along with the very tired, but still awake and ready to give us their hot takes, Janelle Riley. The look on your face.
I'm not happy.
The look on your face. Jazz Tanke.
Been up since 3 and just don't know.
Yeah, Janelle looks angry. Jazz just looks tired. And then Clayton Davis is just not even paying attention.
He's on his phone.
He's already booking more TV appearances. He's
got a tie. Look at him. He's so snazzy.
I am in a tie today. Welcome to this Oscar support group. My name's Clayton, and I'm an Oscar addict. And listen.
So what have you been saying all day? Your hot takes.
You know what?
So you know what? Like I'm gonna be Mr. Positive here. As a whole, I think they did good today.
I agree.
Yeah, sure.
I agree.
As a whole, it's not that there was so many things that surprised or irritated me, but the things that irritated me really irritated me.
Yeah, there's some serious irritation. My first irritation is that Clayton's been doing TV takes all day, and yet he still won't go up to the microphone so I can hear it.
I'm right here.
It's like,
come on, it's been up since 3. He's tired.
He's new to media.
I
understand.
Because I get mic'd on the shirt. I mean,
yeah.
Before we get into it, Clayton, good call on El Conde.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
It's Ed Lachman, right? Though
it was Lachman, and by the way,
that's still a big shocker.
4 out of 5 black and white movies.
That's amazing.
In cinematography,
to have some semblance of black and white. Killers is the only movie that's fully in color.
Wow.
But it does have black and white moments in it.
Does it?
No, I don't know.
The newsreel footage. That wasn't. They had to shoot that though. That wasn't.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. So,
anyway, that was the biggest surprise for me, and then everyone was like, "No, Clayton called that."
But you know what's funny? This is the biggest shock for me, and I was talking about her for weeks about America Ferrera.
Yep.
But there's no way. And I didn't predict her in the end because there's no way you could have convinced me to take America Ferrera and not take Margot Robbie.
They felt like a package deal. You're right. Yeah.
Never in a million.
And I suspected Margot would miss, so I didn't think America would
get in.
Did
you?
But where? Where was your...
Margot, lead actress. Oh, I just thought that there's still a lot of cranky older voters who are going to say again. I want to state first of all by saying that Barbie is such a massive achievement, but I'm just saying that 5 years ago people would not have thought of Barbie as an Oscar film.
Right?
Is it? Yes. Yes, it's a great movie. It's an achievement. It's an auteur-driven film. That said, I think there are still too many snobs who were like, oh, quote unquote, it's a doll movie. And so
I've been quoting you all day, actually, Janelle.
Oh, good God.
Is that I think we didn't take the minute to just say it's a miracle it's gotten this far.
It's really a fantastic
Well,
achievement.
and I wonder, do you think actually when it won the Blockbuster Award at the Globes, if that hurt it because it created the narrative even more that it's
I
a
refuse to believe the Globes
No,
affect anything.
What interesting, you know what I think really affected it? I think there is such a thing as doing too well.
Definitely.
So when it tied the Globes record and broke the Critics' Choice record, I think people, by people I mean Oscar voters, went, wait a minute, what are we about to do here? And maybe not as a collective, like, conscious thought, but seeing it on directing, lead acting, film editing, sound, I just think we had conversations with these voters. I heard a lot of, it's good, not great, or what one person said beautifully that I used in a piece. At the end of the day, it's still a movie about a toy doll. And I think they see it that way, and not saying that's correct.
Which is why I think that people should actually give it even more credit, because look at what they did with that, quote unquote, just a movie about a toy doll.
So beyond what you're ever expecting from a film like that.
The big takeaway for me is do not take Margot Robbie's loss out on America Ferrera. Sorry, I changed accents there. America Ferrera or Ryan Gosling.
That's proof to me that Margot was 6. I think she was number 6 in the
easily.
category.
Yeah,
I think she
was 5.5. I think it was just
it was just
very close.
Look, Greta Lee is not nominated in that category. Beautiful, beautiful performance. Natalie Portman, one of the trickiest performances of the year. There's several people who were overlooked.
As Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park, life finds a way. I was looking for a lone screenplay nominee, and that presented itself today, May, December.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charles Melton, Julianne Moore not making it. We have a lone screenplay nominee. I will say, so let's start with Oppenheimer.
Which, by the way, was extremely successful, but because not quite as successful as Barbie, kind of has an advantage.
Yes, because it didn't do too well.
Yeah, it did phenomenally.
If they would have tacked on Matt Damon for a 14, people would have been like, stop. Like, that's enough. But 13 nominations.
Perfect.
Only the 11th movie to get that many nominations in a year.
Probably would have been 14 if there had been 2 sound categories.
Oh, 100%. I miss 2 sound categories because I think we could tell the difference. I just don't feel like the Academy did, and I miss that. But Oppenheimer is in the best position right now to. I mean, listen, it feels weird to call things this early but like
it's not that early.
But what has to happen for Nolan and this movie to lose? Like I wrote in the column today, it's not about will it win, it's about how many is it going to win. And that's where I think we are now.
And I think it goes back to, like we were saying, like maybe it's Oppenheimer all along. Didn't we say that like back in November?
Oh yeah,
like,
we're going to twist ourselves into pretzels and just be like, guys, it's Oppenheimer.
It's just Oppenheimer
What
all
else
along.
would it be? I mean, The Holdovers is the one that everyone really likes.
Well, on paper, it's definitely not The Holdovers because Alexander Payne missed today.
Right.
But I guess coincidentally, you could look at it and be like, "Is this a Green Book situation?" But I don't think it is. But we can definitely put it on the table. On paper, it's Poor Things that got 11.
Sure. Yeah, 11. That very strong showing.
Yeah, and didn't miss anything that like quote unquote matters in a race, like editing and everything. He got everything he needed.
Pretty bummed about Willem Dafoe missing out, but it wasn't a slam dunk.
Yeah, and that's also I think they were splitting votes.
Well,
like
and also
hardcore.
so weird that Dafoe got the SAG nomination and Mark Ruffalo didn't, and then they swapped for Oscar.
Unprecedented. Both of them at 4 different televised award shows. We got different variations of the Poor Things boys.
Right.
It's interesting, yeah.
With none of them, with both of them, and one in the other. So it was like...
What if, like, Gerard Carmichael just wins in a write-in?
Yeah, right? Yeah, but now Ruffalo, who, like, is now 0 for 4, and you're like, oh, maybe you can take on Downey Jr.
He could.
But here it is. We don't see Ruffalo again till Oscar night. He's not BAFTA nominated, and he's not SAG nominated. Wow. And the only 2 people that have won without those 2 things in modern era, obviously, Marcia Gay Harden, Pollock, which came out of nowhere, and Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, wow.
Which was crazy because Regina should have been
a sweeper.
front runner all along.
But that was a late release. We can chalk it up to that. Like, this is a different animal.
Sorry for not knowing. Did Tilda Swinton receive a BAFTA nomination for Michael Clayton the year she won the Oscar?
Yeah, that's the only thing she won.
Because, like, I remember that being shocking. And if you see the performance, it's not shocking. Yeah. But
that was the tide turning for her. And that was also a messy year.
It was a very weird year because didn't Ruby
D won SAG,
but
Kate Blanchett won Globe, and that was the year of the strike.
Amy Ryan
won Critics' Choice.
Winning a lot of critics, yeah.
So that was that big thing.
But we can't resist the Hulk versus Iron Man headline.
I mean,
Robert Downey
I'm not
Jr.
going to lie and say that I didn't write it in my column already. it was like
sometimes you got to say the obvious.
It was right there.
Yeah.
But Poor Things. Yes, I'm sorry. Poor Things. Yes, on paper, number 2. But coincidentally, Anatomy of a Fall.
That was the
It
one.
got directing, writing, editing, an acting nom. Like it has everything on paper, quote unquote, to win Best Picture. And we didn't get 4 movies crack double digits. We got 3. But coincidentally, that year that we did get 4, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Joker, and whatever the other one was. I think it's The Irishman. The movie that beat it only had 6 nominations. Parasite.
Oh my God.
A non-English
See,
language movie.
And a few years ago, we would have said Anatomy of a Fall can't win because it's an international film, although it has quite a bit of English in it.
Yeah, it does.
But Parasite blew those rules up. I feel like we're ignoring the obvious, though, which is that Killers of the Flower Moon should be a powerful contender.
But a misadapted screenplay.
tough.
That was it's funny. It swapped adapted screenplay for song. Which the song, I think people were like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're
I
going to
had
do
a
that."
weird feeling it would get in for song.
I always say when there's a weird selection, quote unquote, in the long list, that usually you're like, okay, that's probably going to make it because it's weird enough that it goes the distance.
And it's actually a song that's like pertinent to the film and tells part of the story. So
I wonder if that's a
happy to
package
see it
deal with
there.
Lily Gladstone. That actually would be interesting little
Song
tidbit.
and acting. There you go.
So wait, can we go into shame phase now? I need to shame some stuff.
Shame.
Wait, can I just give Ellen
Shame.
Moroznik a shout out for costumes?
Yeah,
Like
her
she
first
earned,
nomination.
I was surprised by that. I was like, she's never had an Oscar.
Laura Cartman.
Laura Cartman.
Composer of American Fiction, first woman ever to be elected to head the music branch of the Academy, is now an Oscar nominee. And it's a good world. And by the way, we did it, Joe. Emily Blunt. She didn't get snubbed.
Did you think she would?
She's gotten snubbed 20
yes,
times.
you're right. You're right. I just thought
We did it, Joe.
What,
She's here.
you're right. There was some nerves there. Now that I
will
thinking
never
back.
not be nervous that she's going to get snubbed.
She is finally an Oscar.
She's
nominee.
finally an Oscar
Finally,
nominee. It's a
right.
good world
Thank
to live
God.
in.
It was
It is
good-
one of those
yeah.
things when I say, that she's a first-time nominee, people are like, no. She's been nominated.
It's like, no.
I mean, it's similar to like Paul Giamatti. This is his second.
Only
not
his second.
That's crazy.
nomination.
That is a
That
crazy
man is
stat.
Chef 30. So, shame. Spider-Man.
Oh my God. Don't.
And I'm not even getting to Best Picture because I know that's just me. But for no shade, you're a legend, sir. But Indiana Jones, when that came up and I didn't hear Spider-Man, I was furious. That's the one thing that actually got a reaction out of me. I was like, what are we doing?
I gasped.
Like, what are we doing? Like, this is just name recognition. Documentary feature is a mess. We had 2 frontrunners miss.
Honestly, shorts. Some of the shorts are a mess too, in my opinion.
Shorts are always messy. Who
But
can
Doc
predict
Feature
those?
is totally messy.
So what happened with Doc Feature?
So for sure, I knew a Michael J. Fox movie.
Yeah, that would be a very different movie.
Yeah.
Very
Michael
different.
J. Fox movie.
Yeah.
Just won an Emmy 2 weeks ago, and I knew that was like the catalyst of like, oh, they're gonna go. Nope.
Yep.
Yeah.
You won an
Usually
Emmy.
the obvious choice gets left out.
Yeah.
Yep. American Symphony, Matthew Heineman's movie. Again, early frontrunner. They just lived to do this. And they did it with Won't You Be My Neighbor, 3 Identical Strangers, Apollo 11, Jane.
Every year.
Every year. So I'm now of the mind that I've said this before, they need to open that category up for people to opt in. 2020, there were 238 documentaries. You're not watching 238 documentaries, 650 of you guys. And arguably, the hardest working filmmakers around. You make documentaries for years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
You're not watching 238 movies. Let other people chime in.
I was blown
so
away.
interesting point about Still, because after all of this time and all the work that they've made at especially at the TV Academy to try to avoid that double dipping, and yet it can still happen potentially.
I'm very fuzzy on how that happens, but I'm sure Clayton can explain.
Well, actually, it was just. It's only really going to happen right now because of when the TV Academy announced it last year, when they said you can go for both. Apple at that point, I think, had full steam ahead of going film. And then we're like, oh, we can win an Emmy too. And I think probably miscalculation of the year, because once you go into Emmy mode, that doc branch is very elitist. They're like, nope, this is mine. That's why they don't want to open it up. And I just think that they were just like, No, you already got your award and your TV movie, quote unquote.
Even though, ironically, most of the docs are produced by TV entities.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Even the ones that are Oscar nominated are all produced by pretty much TV entities.
Sheila Nevins, speaking about docs, is now an Oscar-nominated documentary filmmaker for
ABC's A Book Banning. Very timely.
I said this earlier, but I'm going to pretend that one of Bradley Cooper's nominations is actually for Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves because he was so good in that. That is like a delightful performance. Mike is staring at me blankly. You haven't seen Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves.
Not many people have, Mike. You're okay.
I did
Oh,
not.
wait, no, he has a cameo in it that is one of
That's
the most
great. He's in a
delightful.
big chair. You've probably seen the meme everywhere.
He really is delightful in it.
Let's talk about Bradley Cooper, though. Now up to his 12th nomination.
So
Picture, original screenplay, and lead acting. One of 4 people to direct himself to an acting nomination more than once.
I actually think he could still win Best Actor.
He could.
The problem that I have heard from people is that so he probably should have won for Star is Born in acting, but he was focused very much on directing and being recognized as a director. And Rami Malek was just a force who could not be stopped. That guy was out every hour of every day campaigning. This time, Bradley campaigned for actor. What I have heard from many SAG voters was that they love Bradley, but he did a lot of things with like Steven Spielberg moderating or, Jennifer Garner moderating. And it was like, it felt a little, I don't want to say elitist. It's just that like they want to see the common actor or like they want to get into the nitty gritty. It's fun to have like friends present or, talk to you about things, but that sort of became the norm for him. And I'm really hoping that with the SAG nomination, he like goes out there and just talks to actors. He doesn't need the endorsement of anyone else. He's so good.
Sorry, isn't that a commentary though on like this trend of having like?
Yeah, I have very mixed feelings about it. Mostly because I've only ever seen a couple good celebrity moderators in my life. A shout out to Hugh Jackman. That man can do anything. And it's different. Like, there's a lot of people, maybe it works better for Oscar voters where, you're seeing your peers and you're seeing, someone great praising Bradley. I'm basing this purely on what I've heard from SAG voters.
There's always, it's a caveat. He wrote, directed, produced, and stars in the movie. Mm-hmm. What I had heard from a couple of voters and why I thought he was vulnerable a little bit in the end, which you had sounded the alarms
I was really scared.
early on. I don't know if he was like a shoo-in. Was that people use this term, quote unquote, it was a vanity project.
Right. That he's, quote unquote, thirsty. Not everyone wants an Oscar.
Yeah. And they did that for DiCaprio before The Revenant. They were like, he was chasing an Oscar. I don't believe in that.
Guess who won an Oscar?
But Cooper, I think, when you're that much all over your movie, it does sometimes paint the picture of like, okay, what are we supposed to focus on? Now, could there be someone one day that does all 4 and we want to give them all 4? Sure. But the fact that only 2 people have directed themselves to Oscar wins for acting, Laurence Olivier for Hamlet in 1948 and Roberto Benigni, who jumped on a chair in 1998.
I think we've taken that one back.
We've tried to.
Ian McKellen, here's your Oscar.
I think he has Edward Norton's Oscar.
I was just talking about Edward Norton last night because how has he not won an Oscar yet?
That's crazy.
Because a little bit of Mark Ruffalo territory. There's certain people that we feel like we're going to get you one day. We're going to get you one day. But sometimes
that's what they said about Jill Clayburgh.
I was like, sometimes you're Ed Harris and your last Oscar nomination was in 2002, and then we're like, oh, we haven't been back here since.
I was actually nervous that Robert De Niro would miss because he's someone else we always take for granted, and I feel like
the Leo thing was real.
And so I was very relieved to see him in there. And again, I don't think he's getting these nominations and everyone's recognizing how great he is. I wonder if he wasn't Robert De Niro, one of the greatest actors of all time, if he'd be winning some of these awards.
Oh, I think if he hadn't won twice, he would have been winning this in a walk.
That's I
think it's one of his best
his
in
best
a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
in a long time. We have to talk about little people bucking history. Danielle Brooks got in for The Color Purple.
Wow.
The sole nomination for The Color Purple and the first acting performance from a musical that is the sole nomination for their movie. That's why I didn't predict her in the end, because I couldn't find Color Purple anywhere else, which it did miss.
Did Penelope Cruz not make it in for 9?
she did, but she wasn't the sole nomination.
She
It
wasn't?
got
nominated,
other stuff.
You mean not acting
Just being the only
but
nomination
others.
for a movie.
Yes.
Musical performances are never the sole nomination, and I couldn't find one, so that's why I dropped her, and she made it. Thank God. She's great in it. But, it was a little bit of like, sometimes the trends don't tell the full
It's
story.
crazy that
Since
she's the only one, though.
Color Purple, I really expected to do better this season.
Yeah.
I think it came too late.
I definitely think it came too late.
They
and people
screened it
already
too
had their
late and
minds
it came
made
too
up.
late.
Yeah. And, some of the people that you would have rewarded, like Colman Domingo in supporting actor, was already getting recognition in lead actor. Yeah.
Could I also just talk about, because we have like an interesting dynamic now in Best Actress. Obviously, we have Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. I never banked on the Stones, but I've never banked on the Benning being there.
You didn't?
Well, she was my alternate, but now that she is there,
Let me tell you, you talk about SAG audiences.
I was going to say SAG.
That is someone
Like,
who
0 for
knows how to
5.
talk to a SAG audience.
I'm saying 0 for 5.
Yep.
Like in her mid to late 60s.
It's a really good performance,
Some
too.
people start like having that conversation with themselves of like, do we get another shot at this in the future, or do we do it now? I always think that's what pushed Michelle Yeoh over the hump. So
I don't think there was.
I think that had a lot to. I do believe that there is a fact. I think it's a Lily Gladstone factor too. You start it's a thing that we don't want to say out loud, but we're like, are we going to get Lily Gladstone back here again? We hope she's talented, but we know how the industry treats people of color and older actors. And the fact that she's here now makes me think, what if she has? By the way, she has SAG nod. The only thing she missed was BAFTA.
She also, you know what? I apologize. I know you can relate because we've all been up since 3 a.m. I just completely forgot what I was going to say. I apologize, Annette Bening. It was, it was probably the thing that could have won you the Oscar, and it just slipped out of my mind. It was a powerful point.
She has given some great performances in the
It's been a while
past.
since she's been nominated, too.
Yeah.
Since being Julia.
Wow, that long. Yeah. And again, just to reiterate, actors love her.
They love her.
She goes out there and she talks nitty gritty to actors. A lot of times one-on-one. Like she can be a force.
I mean,
But she's also not working it. Sorry, Mike. If that, you know what I mean? Like she's just genuine. I think that's the thing. It's like I'm not campaigning. I'm really just loving.
And she's really good. That's the other thing. Like people kind of seem surprised when they do see the movie because I think it's sort of been undersold.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, and let's just give Jodie Foster Best Supporting Actress for True Detective Night Country.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen,
Well, I was going to say, it's a nice showing for Nyad. I mean, for both of them to get nominations.
I really like that movie.
It's a total, I call it a total middle America kind of vote movie. Like it speaks to like just normal people who are just like, I just want to watch a good movie. It's like the Kodak audience. Like, they just want to watch a good movie. And it hits for people. And Jodie Foster is incredible in it. And this also told me, that's why she was my alternate in the end. I was like, Jodie and Annette are probably a package deal. They're on the same ballots.
When they got into SAG, I was like, it's done.
Yeah. But when they started that lineup and they were like Annette Bening, and then they got to Lily, I got nervous for 2 seconds. I was like, you better say Lily Gladstone next. And then they said Sandra Hüller, and I was like, oh my God.
Who misses?
And I was like, oh my God. Like, I immediately went to my head. I was like, oh my God, Emma Stone missed. Like, it didn't even dawn on me that it could be Margot Robbie at that exact moment. I was like, oh my God, Emma Stone missed. And that would be like epic proportions. But the one thing I want to just point out also is in the screenplay categories, in the screenplay categories in particular, Anatomy of a Fall, Holdovers, Past Lives, Pick Your Poison, that's going to be like a death match. And then adapted screenplay.
I think it's Holdovers. I think that's what the general consensus is. But it wouldn't necessarily be my pick, or maybe it would. They're all freaking great.
They're all great.
I don't like. I felt good about it before, but like with Pain Missing Director, not saying that actually like matters. Although he is the only director of a Best Picture nominee that has no Oscar nominations this year because he didn't produce or write his movie.
It's kind of like it's a testament to how. Like, they talk about invisible labor. Like, he's so good at what he does. I think people took it for granted. But like, look at how that movie feels like a movie made in the 70s. Look at those performances.
Oh, it's great.
I was still kind of holding out hope Dominic Sessa might make it into.
That was my alternate.
I
Actually,
think he was so
I am
close.
5 for 5 in print magazine and 4 for 5
God
online.
bless early deadlines.
Yeah,
huh?
early deadline.
Don't
This is
change
why you
those.
don't change your
You don't
predictions.
change 'em.
You
Just
should
stay
not have
with
changed.
Ruffalo,
Yeah.
man.
Well, so May, December. I mean, that was it.
That's a heartbreaker for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the writing was on the wall after SAG, but I really love that movie. And I thought at least someone was like, Charles Melton was only a Twitter thing. And I was like, the guy won the Gotham over some intense
Divine Joy
competition.
Randolph.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, let's not undersell that. Listen, he is great in that movie. I think that movie is just. I mean, listen, when I saw it, I thought I was like, oh, this is a weird kind of cookie. To like,
It is.
It's
hard to categorize.
Yeah.
It's hard to like
you could
market.
say actors love movie about actors, but they also can kind of resent them. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
just interesting because I saw it play with the actors I know who saw it loved
They
it.
love it.
Yeah.
And then A24, the only studio, they got 2 Best Picture nominations.
Right.
Yep.
Zone of Interest,
And
Past Lives. But I wanted to talk about Zone of Interest because Glazer, man, just coming through. He's an Oscar nominee. It's a good world to live in.
Good for him.
I love that movie, but it's also the weirdest movie to say I love.
You
Oh,
can't
no.
say.
Like,
Yeah.
like, guys, you know what you'll love?
no, it's the
Zone
weirdest
of
movie to
Interest.
say you enjoyed, I think. Because
Yeah,
I so respect it and I recognize what masterful filmmaking it is.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever want to see it again.
It's a one
Yeah.
and done. I've seen it. I can talk
That's
about
been
it.
done.
Carol in our department has seen it like 3 times.
Yeah, I watched it like twice. I won't watch Iron Claw again, though.
Iron Claw I'm not going to watch again. Done.
Well, now you don't have to, right? And now I don't have to watch Saltburn. Is that
No, you need to
You've
watch
got to
Saltburn.
watch
Schneider.
Saltburn.
You have to. Oh, that,
You're not getting
I'm
out of
so sad
Saltburn.
for that movie.
I mean, well, it's funny because like people wrote it off early on, and then I was getting excited because it looked like
It looked like it was going to
Yeah.
get something.
But also All of Us Strangers. Done.
that was the one I meant to bring up. Oh gosh, that one is a heartbreaker.
I can't believe Andrew Scott is
I
going
was
to walk this earth.
bullish about Andrew Scott. I was
gonna
like,
walk
he'll
this
miss
earth out,
everything,
and,
but everyone I know who saw that movie, the look that they got on their face when you mentioned Andrew Scott,
Yeah.
like they were about to burst into tears. I was sure that good would prevail in the end.
And it did not.
It did not. Evil exists. 'Cause
I
Rick
mean,
Schneider's
again,
here.
best
Yeah.
actor is a bloodbath.
It really is. I mean, how do you pick? And who's the front runner now? Who's the front runner and best actor?
It's between Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti.
I think it's between. Yeah, I mean,
Although I do think Bradley could get in there.
yeah, I
but
think
he
it's a
has
3-horse
to-
race. But
he has to do some catching
I
up.
think it's Giamatti. Like right now, today.
If it was today, I think it would be Giamatti.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
I mean, In and Out.
he better think In and Out
better
when
endorse-
he's up there.
They
Endorse
need
that
to
man.
give him
When-
free in and out.
Yeah, when he wins
For
that
life.
Oscar up on stage, if he doesn't give a shout out to a double-double.
I went and got one the other day. God, I waited in the drive-through for 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's
And
worth
worth it.
The
I
thing.
haven't had In and Out since I've lived in California.
What
I've had
is-
it
what?
before. I'm also not a lover of In and Out. Like I like Five Guys.
I used to be like you.
We're done.
Yeah, no.
We're done here. We're,
I was very
I am
similar.
slamming this podcast over. Blasphemy.
You know what? Honestly, it's such a stupid reason. It's because the lines are always so long, and
Yep.
it's not worth that long line. That's what it is.
1,000%.
You know
As
what?
much as
That's
I
it.
love
Park
can't
and
do
go
those
inside.
lines.
It's not
No.
nearly as bad.
But the
This is
wait is just as
LA.
bad.
don't
yeah.
have- It's not nearly as bad.
you might see
Park,
Paul
go
Giamatti.
inside. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah,
After
sit
Oscar
down.
Sunday. was-
Listen, $1 million question. Where does Sandra Hüller sit at the Oscars with the Anatomy people or the Zone people?
The movie she's nominated for Best
Ooh,
Actress
nice,
for.
Nice one.
Also, they
Yeah.
don't really group them together, do they?
No, I don't think
Yeah.
so anymore. And then Barbie. Can I just say something about Barbie and just like its underperformance of 8?
Quote unquote underperformance.
Quote unquote
Yes.
underperformance. I think I said it here last week or 2 weeks ago. I said, what if it was like A Star is Born and it just wins original song? And it got the same exact number of nominations as Star is Born did, also with 2 songs.
I would really like to believe that Gosling is neck and neck with Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. He's so deserving. I get that people are like, you're honoring Ken when you're not honoring when Margot Robbie wasn't nominated as Barbie. 2 completely different things. By the way, Ken has a fascinating arc in that movie.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Making
incredible.
him the villain, but he still manages to be sympathetic. Like it is a balancing act.
I have a message for Ryan Gosling because I know he's listening to this right now. We all know this. It's his go-to podcast. That's what someone told me. If you don't perform I'm Just Ken at the Oscars, if you don't open that ceremony with I'm Just Ken, you're not allowed at Thanksgiving. anymore.
I agree.
At your Thanksgiving or just
Any
Thanksgiving in
Thanksgiving.
general?
No
Okay.
Thanksgiving will have Ryan Gosling if he's not singing
Give
that
the
song
people
on
what
the
they
scene.
want.
We have to get the producers on this too.
Just do it, sir.
Do you think there's a chance the Barbie songs cancel each other out?
Yes.
of course.
Yes, but I don't
And then
think
so
it will
what's
happen.
I
what's
think
the
that-
other
well-
song? What's the one that
Diane Warren
benefits?
on her 15th nomination? Actually, I think Killers of the Flower Moon.
I was going to say
Probably
Killers.
maybe Killers.
Because it is pertinent to the plot. And
I think
Killers.
maybe it's a down the ballot like Lily vote. Maybe
Yeah.
I think that could help. But
Could be. Also, how about American Symphony? It missed Doc, so maybe
John Batiste.
Yeah.
John Batiste gets an Oscar.
Yep.
he's a former winner. But
Sorry, what did he win for?
Soul.
Of course.
Original score.
I still think one of the Barbie songs wins, but I think
And that's
But
Yeah,
which
and
one
just-
do you
I-
think?
and that's
Probably
that-
Billie
and that's
Eilish.
what
Don't you think
that's
Billie
that's
Instant
that's
Probably.
the smart
Yeah.
thinking, but I just feel like I'd vote for I'm Just
Wait,
Ken.
wait. Here's always like the thing that's no consensus anywhere. About how do you vote on original song? Are you voting because you like the actual song, or you're voting on the way it plays in the movie and advances the plot?
Sadly, I don't think a lot of people do the latter.
I
They
don't.
don't.
And I actually
They
don't. I
don't
don't
do
think
that.
people know how. Like, I think there's too much of a divide
there's
on
a
it.
gap. Yeah.
That's why it makes it hard. Because for me, yeah, I can listen to Eilish outside of the movie, like on the radio, but I'm Just Ken is the moment of the movie, and I would vote for that.
It's also such a good song.
Yeah.
It's such an earworm.
It's a 6.5 minute like
But it's such a moment.
masterclass.
Yeah.
It's such a moment. Like you turn the film on and it's like that is the thing that makes you like you're genuinely happy seeing that.
Yeah,
and I
but
feel
I fear that you guys are right, and that if that ends up being the only Oscar that Barbie wins, the song about Ken.
Well, then we just need to give Barbie some other Oscars.
well, I
Problem
think it's going to
solved.
get production design. I mean, I think it's
I don't know. Poor Things is
Poor
right
Things.
there.
Poor Things is there.
Listen, I still think that's also a category people haven't really talked about it. Oppenheimer could win production design.
Of course.
Very
Totally
well
win
win that,
production
yeah.
design. And listen, and not for nothing, Killers of the Flower Moon. Jack Fisk built a town
Exactly.
in Oklahoma, an entire town. So I think that's something. But my good, interesting stat for my show, by the way, in favor of Bradley Cooper maybe winning Best Actor. The last, I think, 7 lead acting winners on both sides, their films also win makeup.
Oh, interesting.
And my
That's
show
right.
looks destined
right.
to win makeup. Or it's Oppenheimer.
If we
Well, so Oppenheimer's only in for makeup, not hair, right?
But
I thought they went
it's
together.
together.
yeah.
No, only one person is nominated
Oh,
for
yeah.
Oppenheimer,
Oh,
right?
but it's
So
the
there's a
category is
slight
hair and makeup,
the
right?
category is hair and makeup.
I
It's
don't
just-
think the Academy reads it that way though. They're just like makeup of the movie. Yes, I think that sucks that they do it that way, by the way, that they only
I think they should split it too.
I think they need
Yes,
to be two
because they're
separate
so
categories.
different.
They're two separate things.
We don't need more categories.
What if Golda wins
We
makeup?
do. I think we do need a
Okay,
couple
well,
more.
I was very happy to see Golda.
I was
there.
too.
Yeah.
I
Golda
was
could-
okay with Golda. For that,
I
sure.
thought Helen was great, and again in a less competitive year. And had she been able to
Yep.
campaign when the movie was out, because I heard a lot of people actually talking about
People
her.
like that film. And they like
Ooh,
her.
just one quick technical sadness. Ferrari. No
oh,
nominations.
Nothing.
Yes, and it's so funny because I was very bullish about Penelope Cruz, even if she didn't get into SAG, which
She
I
did.
didn't expect, and then she did. I was sure the Academy would recognize her.
We get SAG red herring sometimes. They just present themselves. Naomi Watts and St. Vincent. And you're like, wait, what? And then like, no, actually. But
wait.
but
Nicole
sound.
Kidman and the
Sound-
Paperboy.
Nicole Kidman and Bombshell. That's the big one.
That wasn't that crazy though, because
Yeah.
a whole ensemble was nominated, 2 other actresses.
I thought Ferrari would get in for sound though.
I mean, it should have. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Sound.
Yeah.
Animated feature? Any thoughts on
Listen,
the
Hot
front runner?
Race. Listen, they're all on the same playing field now because
Amazing.
all of them just have one nomination.
Yeah. I just want to say, my friends think that this is hilarious that I can't stop talking about this movie. I love Leo on Netflix. The Adam Sandler is like an iguana.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is so cute and charming and funny. And I know that people weren't really talking about it, but I do think it's interesting that, they overlooked a Netflix movie, very popular movie, and they overlooked Wish from Disney.
Yeah.
And some of these other movies got in. It's like the Academy, the
Elemental
animated
got in.
branch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least
It's
Elemental
paying
got in.
attention.
Listen,
Yeah.
three
Which was
anima-
the right call, by the way.
Yeah, 3 animated movies were in my top 10 of the year. Spider-Man at 2, Robot Dreams at 5, and Boy and the Heron at 10. Any of them can win and I'd be happy.
Yeah.
But I think Populous Academy is probably Spider-Verse.
I don't know. Boy and the Heron
I mean,
has its
it depends on if people are like, this is the last time we're going to do it. Well, he's making another movie, so that narrative doesn't work anymore because he has another movie coming. So maybe just give it to Spider, or maybe
Nimona.
Nimona.
Or Nimona. Nimona's good.
It is.
It's
Nimona's
very
solid.
good. They're
Nimona's
all
great.
good. There's nothing.
So I saw somebody who was outraged this morning that Turning Red wasn't nominated, and I just didn't have the energy.
Turning Red?
Turning-
Yeah, from
The one from
like
3
last
years
year
ago?
or two
Awesome.
Last year,
Good
year
job.
before last.
But Robot Dreams, by the way, Mike.
I'm
do
afraid to
yourself-
watch it. It looks like it's going to make me sad.
It's no dialogue.
But there's a dog, right?
There is a dog. Don't worry. No, there's no
Is
dead
it like
dogs.
the Futurama episode?
I don't watch Futurama, really.
Oh, but
no
even
dead
people that
dogs.
see
There are no
Futurama
dead
know
dogs.
the sad
There
dog
are no
episode.
dead dogs.
Yeah, but is
it
he lonely or sad?
I mean,
or-
it's
I'm out.
It's beautiful.
I'm out.
It is beautiful, and you should do yourself a favor. And
I had to
let it-
leave my dog
Yeah.
this morning to come here, and the howls coming from him. It was like the worst tragedy to ever happen to Dogmanity. He was not having it.
Talk vanity.
He was. He was like, no.
Trademarked. Dog vanity. Janelle Riley.
All right, so what's next? What's next on the docket now? The noms are out?
You know, believe it or not, it's pretty quiet until DGA's, which is February 12th, and the luncheon is after that. So no one's already going to know he's winning director by then. But no, it's pretty quiet for the next 2 weeks.
I'll be interested to see if people pick up campaigning, because sometimes there's this thought of like, well, it's already decided. But I think a lot of these races could change in the next
It
couple
always
weeks.
changes.
Yeah. And I do think a lot of it comes down to who's out there and who's being
Yep.
seen, you know? I mean, I'm so happy Colman Domingo is an Oscar nominee.
Speak of the devil, our guest this week.
Oh my gosh,
And I was
perfect
about to
segue.
say, it also depends on who talks to the awards circuit podcast. So,
I mean,
Coleman Domingo, you're
America
up.
Ferrera.
Hey.
Sorry.
They stop here
Yep,
first.
Yep. That's
They-
our new tagline. They
did
stop
speak
here
to
first.
A lot of people. Just throwing that out there.
Wow.
Coleman Domingo
No,
and
it's
his
just us.
style, though. Oh
I
my
can't wait to
god,
see what Colman Domingo wears. to
he
the
has the
Oscars.
best style.
He
right
does.
It's hurting my feelings now. Like there's sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel good about this today, and then he walks onto a red carpet. I'm like, God damn it! Like, no, I don't.
He is your sort of spirit
Wait till he starts wearing hats.
inspiration.
He better not. He better not.
Watch him wear a hat too.
No,
next
no hats.
thing.
Just
That's Clayton's.
wear the coats. The
I'm
coats
going to be
are
mad
great.
if he shows up in a Scrabble dress, because everyone knows that's my thing.
That is your thing. Well, great. Well, this was fun.
The Emmys are
and-
next week.
Exactly.
Jesus, stop. Oh, Jesus.
feel like
Actually,
it.
it's Mike.
First Emmys
Bye.
FYC thing fairly soon.
No,
They had their lottery this week to decide when the next. So yeah. Usually those things start to happen at the end of
What's the
February.
lottery
So
for
it really
theaters?
for space. So who gets to do their event on what night?
Which
so,
I hear is a madhouse that people like try to log in and book a
madhouse.
space, and it like doesn't work.
a madhouse.
Mike, have you actually watched all the screeners for season 5 of True Detective?
No, I haven't yet. I'm midway through, so it's so good.
It's so
It's
so
good.
good.
Sorry, Jordan Peele and Key and Peele Continental Breakfast sketch. It's so good.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
Wait, Mike, have you watched any movies since the
Oh, yeah.
last time?
Mike watching
what have you
movies.
seen?
no. You don't watch
Oh,
anything.
what? No, I'm back to like binging my TV. So there's too
He's
much.
like, I'm done
too
with
much
the
TV.
movies.
I'm done
You know
with.
what I started last night, just because I haven't had time? The new Fargo season.
And speaking of so good,
Freaking
So good.
fantastic.
I haven't started
knew,
it yet.
yeah.
I've
I'm
not.
so mad I didn't start it sooner. I just literally didn't have time. And then, like, I need to go to bed because I need to be up this morning. And I was like, I can't stop watching this.
yeah.
I just,
We're back
3
to
episodes.
season 1 goodness, I hear. So
Yes.
I'm
I,
excited.
it,
For both, by the
Thank
way,
God.
it's funny you mentioned both True Detective and Fargo because both shows are back, baby.
Yep.
I mean,
That's
Anthologies.
incredible, right?
yeah, 2 shows that felt like no one really was paying attention to the last season. They're definitely back.
yep.
Good.
So
Both season 5s, I think.
no, True
No.
Detective season 4.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, but both sort of back, and that's that limited race is going to be ridiculous
Bonkers.
this
The
year.
badass women of
Bonkers.
the limited race.
It's going to be
too.
so good. I mean,
The Emmy should end the night with limited series and not comedy or drama.
I
'cause
mean,
they're
Juno
gonna be
Temple versus Jodie Foster,
Brie
all the
Larson.
J's. Yeah, Brie Larson. I mean,
Lessons
yeah.
in Chemistry.
Gonna be ridiculous. So
Oh, yeah, Lessons in
We-
Chemistry
we-
hasn't
we
been
still have
done
to-
yet. Like,
Chemistry, yeah. I had a lovely conversation with the women nominated for SAG Awards for leading, or not leading, they don't do leading, for actress in a limited series or TV
Female
movie.
actor.
Yeah, female actor, thank you. And it was like Katherine Hahn and Brie Larson and Belle Powley and Uzo Aduba. Like, just awesome.
good people. Good
Yeah.
people. I
Wow.
love, by the way, that we ended this Oscars conversation with a little
There you
Abby
go.
just
Make you feel
Cherry on
included.
Did I
top.
mention that Brie Larson is an Oscar winner? There you go.
Yeah.
And if
background.
anyone hasn't watched yet, Love on the Spectrum, guys,
it's your show.
the future unstructured reality winner. This it's going to win again this year. It's delightful.
Oh, I watched American Nightmare on Saturday morning, 3 episodes.
Oh, I heard it's like
yes.
phenomenal.
It's good.
Is
It's
it?
good.
crazy.
Yeah.
There's so much TV.
And so real.
So much TV.
Yeah, that's why, sorry, movies.
You have a lot of good movies too.
Yes. No, I'll catch up. Now that the nominations are out, I will be catching up on some of these
Right.
that I haven't seen yet. So,
Thank you for your service, Michael.
anytime.
Thank
All right, we will see you all next week. Bye-bye. After the break, we talk to Rustin star Colman Domingo. From Los Angeles, this is the Award Circuit Podcast.
For your consideration, Max presenting the HBO original Barry, starring Bill Hader in the explosive and hilarious final chapter of a man trying to untangle himself from the world of contract killing and immerse himself in acting. Nominated for 3 SAG Awards, including Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series. Barry is now streaming on Max.
And we're back. It's the Variety Award Circuit Podcast, and I'm Michael Schneider. Written by Julian Brees and Dustin Lance Black, Rustin is an inspirational true story that takes place during the Civil Rights Movement, when Bayard Rustin organized the 1963 March on Washington. Colman Domingo has just been named an Oscar nominee for Best Actor for his powerhouse performance in the biographical drama.
Each of us are taught in ways both cunning and cruel that we are inadequate, incomplete. And the easiest way to combat that feeling of not being enough is to find someone we consider less than. Less than because they are poorer than us, or because they are darker than us, or because they desire someone our churches and our laws say they should not desire. When we tell ourselves such lies, start to live and believe such lies, we do the work of our oppressors by oppressing ourselves. Strom Thurmond and Hoover don't give a shit about me. What they really want to destroy is all of us coming together and demanding this country change. Are they expecting my resignation?
Some are, yes.
Then they're going to have to fire me, because I will not resign.
Domingo made history a couple of times this week. He became the first Afro-Latino nominated in the Best Actor category, where he's joined by fellow black nominee Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Domingo and Best Supporting Actress nominee Jodie Foster for Nyad also made Oscar history. It's the first time 2 openly LGBTQ actors have been nominated for playing LGBTQ characters. Domingo has become a ubiquitous presence on our TV screens in recent years, thanks to Fear the Walking Dead and Euphoria, which earned him an Emmy for Guest Actor in a Drama Series. Now he's about to be everywhere on the big screen as well. Variety's Clayton Davis talked to Domingo about the euphoric feeling of receiving his first Oscar nomination. Additionally, he talks about his acting journey and the big projects he has ahead. They began with Clayton asking Domingo how he was feeling and how he learned of his nomination that morning.
It's wild. I went to bed. I was telling these guys, these lovely publicists behind me, that I really did last night. It was sort of out of my mind. I just wasn't thinking about it really. And then right before I was about to go to bed, I was like, oh yeah. I think I saw something on Twitter, like suddenly there was a deluge of predictions that were there. And suddenly I honestly, for like maybe the past couple of months, anytime I was on social media, I sort of skipped past any predictions. I just didn't want to hear it or see it, anything. I just wanted to trust what was happening. Anyway, so go to bed. And I usually wake up early, but not super early, like 4:30 in the morning, like today.
Yeah.
So 4:30, my body was just like, "You're up," and I'm like, "No, I'm not. I want to go to sleep. I want to like sleep through it and see if I get a call or not, but not be focused on it." But I couldn't sleep, so I got up. And Raul, my husband, poked his head up as well, and he said, "You want me to make coffee?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." He said, "Want me to put on a fire?" Great. So fireplace is roaring in the bedroom, coffee's happening, and then I thought, I have to do something. So I start organizing my closet. I go into my closet and I'm organizing, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing at 5 a.m. And so then I'm finished getting things together, and then it's about 5:30, and Raul is I can see he's watching the feed. I said, "Okay, just so you know, I'm probably not going to look. So, but he said, "Oh, you want me to turn it off? I can go in the other room." I said, "Whatever you want. I'm just going to wander around." So literally I started walking the house. I really was walking the house while I was listening. And then I heard Danielle Brooks, and I just screamed, so happy. And then Dave I Enjoy, and got even happier. And then I walked back towards the bedroom part of the house. And then I start walking and pacing in the bathroom. And so it finally gets to my category. Like the moment I hear it, I'm like, oh my God, here it is. Suddenly my phone goes bing, and
Who's that fast?
East Coast, the feed was coming in faster than where we were. And so I literally picked up my phone. I saw it said, "Congratulations, Oscar nominee," from my manager. And I just put the phone down, like silently. Yeah. And then I looked over, because I was just kind of in shock. And then I looked over at Raul.
You're waiting for a noise.
Yeah. And then he gets the Colman Domingo, and then he literally goes to the floor and starts sobbing. And so then I go to him, then I look over at him. I'm like, because I think my body didn't even know how to react. I look at him, I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And then
you're like, my condolences.
I was like, I guess I'll do that too. So then I start crying. I'm like, but I feel like I didn't know how to react. You know, like it was. So that's me. Apparently, I deadened at first before I get some good news.
Listen, I do the ABC News watch thing every year, and I'm doing commentary. And me and one of the producers.
It's like sports. It's like sports.
It is exactly like. So one of the producers, I've been doing it for 3 years now, and she says every year her favorite part of it is watching me watch the nominations, because I'm like literally like a beautiful mind trying to figure stuff out, and also reacting, like live reacting to it. Actually, no one sees that, thank God. Right. But it was Bradley Cooper, and I said to myself, Colman Domingo's supposed to be next in the alphabet. He has to come next. And it was just a 1-2 punch, and then I was like, there you go.
Did you put your hands up like score?
I went, I'm okay for the rest of the day,
well,
guys.
Thank you. You've been so wonderful from the very beginning when Rustin came out. I remember you wrote these 2 beautiful pieces about it. So you just, I wouldn't say like, because I know, as someone who writes for this and critiques and all that stuff, but you're very much like you had your eye on my work and the performance and what it meant. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. Listen,
I don't know how you see so much, so I don't even know how you do it.
Listen, I always say as an industry, we've been working at the Colman Domingo Oscar moment for a while now. We have to get on stuff early. So like, listen, we were there for Zola. We were like shaming some people. We shamed some people for a Beale She Could Talk.
Good. I'm into that.
We've been doing the Lord's work for a while.
Thank you.
And then we knew Rustin was coming. We're like, there it is. That's going to be the one.
Man.
And then, alas, here we are.
Thank you.
So the phone calls come. I love the phone calls that come of people like, I knew it, or the ones that are like, congratulations, and you're like, I didn't hear from you for a long time. But what is one of the most,
there's a lot of that.
What is one of the most interesting calls that you've received thus far?
Well, I received, let's see, what am I up to right now? I'm going to my phone. I'm up to 477 text messages that I haven't returned yet. And I probably have at least 300 emails. I have Instagrams and Twitters that I have not, because I really just try to stay present. And the calls that cut through are like family. I will talk to my niece and my brother and my sister, dear friends. And then I was sort of waiting around for a certain call for a few hours. And so I called, someone who runs their production company. I said, hey, I have my phone on, and my phone is just like dinging off the hook. And I only have it on for one reason, because I'm waiting for a certain call from a certain somebody. And she said, hold on for a second. Let me see what I can do. And then a number from a no ID showed up. And I was like, there it is. And I pick up the phone. It's just about an hour
But I
ago.
just want to point out, for the record, you don't pick up unknown calls typically, right? 'Cause
No.
we have a general rule.
But I know that there's maybe, but it generally, I used to didn't, when I was being chased by bill collectors. Not anymore. But who I will pick up for, like, certain,
on these days,
big people who will call. And I pick up, and the first thing he says, Colman, congratulations. I was like, oh, that's not so good. My voice is tired, but usually I could do a better Barack Obama. But basically, Barack Obama called me about an hour ago, and he just gave me so much congratulations and love. And he said the most important thing. He said, just enjoy this moment. Enjoy it. He said, enjoy every step of this. This is a huge, wonderful thing. And he said, just have fun.
Recent back-to-back Emmy winner, Barack Obama.
Yeah, exactly.
Just great president, winning Emmys. He gets into Oscar space, man. I'm going to have to be like, listen, man. So
right. When I was got an Oscar-nominated film, so there we go.
Sure,
exactly, right?
Rustin's on the map.
Yeah.
Listen, we started this journey with you. Well, listen, we heard about the journey back in 2022.
Yep.
Because we thought it was coming that year.
Yeah.
And then George got sick. He got better, thank God. And then we got back here. And then we go to Telluride in the mountains.
Yeah.
In the middle of a strike.
Yeah.
When that was the industry. They were like, we knew the Colman moment was coming, so they're like, let's go on strike. Let's try to stop this.
Let's try to stop this from happening.
But we did it anyway. But now that we're here, I mean, listen, looking back at that moment, like the first reviews come out. I know no one does it for the awards, but you're hoping that it's just a good movie and that people receive it well.
Yeah.
And now you're here. Is that a little surreal?
Oh, it's fantastic. I think it's even beyond what I imagine. I think that I imagine because I know the way we made it. It was so detailed and spirited and beautiful and gentle. And I was just hoping that translated, that, you never know what happens in the post-production and everything. And then, but every step of the way, that's been, when I tell you, like, every partner, everybody at Netflix, how much they loved the film and cared for it and cared about the way they marketed it. Everything about it has been very, and I use the word gentle, which I don't think is a word I use often when it comes to getting a film out.
Yeah.
You're trying to cram it into some audiences' heads and force them to go see it.
Like, please go see
but
this.
this feels gentle, and it feels like it has the spirit of Bayard Rustin around it. That's what it feels so good. And so I'm happy that's been received, and my work, and because I'm like, when they amplify my work, you amplify the name Bayard Rustin.
Yep.
And that is the sole reason why I wanted to do this film. He's a unsung hero of mine.
Oh, listen, and I fully admit, and listen, I'm one that writes about diversity, and I try to be up to speed on all our important historical figures of our lifetime, and I didn't even know a lot about Bayard Rustin.
Most people didn't.
And I was perfectly open to like learning something, because especially when it comes to Dr. King, a lot of people love to throw their stake in the ground, like, I know about Dr. King.
Right.
I mean, this is like his closest dude, and like flew over my head because education sucks in America and they don't teach us about some of this.
It's true. I mean, that's how I found out about him when I was 19 years old. But not even in college, in the college program. I actually found out it through the African American Student Union, which I joined to sort of like know more about myself.
Yeah.
In many ways. And then so he came up sort of as a footnote in a way, and then we went a little deeper, and I was like, what? Who is this person?
Yeah.
And they were so profound and did so much, and how come we don't know about it? So then, of course, the moment you hear that as a 19-year-old, you feel like I've been duped my entire life by my education. So that makes me want to interrogate everything.
Yeah. So let me give you some of the great tidbits of the day that I'm sure, because you can't catch everything because it's been a very eventful
what happened?
10 hours.
What happened?
I wanted to drop some historical bits for you.
You always know this stuff, which is great.
Because I've been following it. Listen, I've never been so happy to be so wrong about Danielle Brooks. And for this reason, because I love her in Color Purple, and I predicted her to miss because no Oscar-nominated performance for a musical has represented the sole nomination for its movie.
Wow.
So a musical performance never gets nominated by itself. It's always like with costumes or a song or something. And I had been tracking Color Purple. I was like, she feels fine, but I don't have it anywhere else. So I got to believe I had to go with history.
That it's a miss.
And then when I heard her name, I almost lost my
The
face.
mic dropped on you.
I was like, that's what I'm like, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Danielle Brooks. I mean, Color Purple, the Oprah role, invigorated. And what I see a lot of, and I was talking about with a friend today, a lot of people known a lot for TV, yourself, Danielle Brooks, Sterling K. Brown, Jeffrey Wright, like all just sneaking up into movies now. You're like, oh, we're going to like start running shit now. like we're here. Stop putting us in the back at the award shows. We actually got something to do.
Right.
It's been incredible. But one thing that really caught my eye, GLAAD released a statement today, because I don't know if you're aware, but you and Jodie Foster, first LGBTQ actors, openly LGBTQ actors, nominated for LGBTQ characters in history.
Wow.
96 years. GLAAD released a statement. Aside from being a much-deserved recognition of their outstanding talents as performers, Colman Domingo and Jodie Foster's Oscar nominations are making LGBTQ and film history while serving as examples for LGBTQ talent all over, that living your life authentically can and should be met with great success.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Like, I mean, listen, my oldest brother was a gay man and one of my heroes, and he used to always talk to me about the things he thought he would never be able to do when he was like in the closet, and then why he wouldn't come out, and then when he did come out, like the things he got to do. Seeing this journey for yourself, living your best truth, and I will say publicly shaming me at every award show when I feel good about what I'm wearing, and then you show up. It's becoming an issue, man. I really need.
That's why you brought me on the show, right?
It's really to say, like, really unless either share some stylists with me, or like just take it down, man. Let me feel like good for a little while. But how does it feel like when you were a young boy growing up?
I think that I was always supported by my family to be exactly who I was, and to know that there was no limitations. And I think that as long as I didn't put limitations on me and my own abilities, the world would meet me the way I see myself. And that's exactly what has happened, I think. I'm looking at, I can look objectively at myself playing Bayard Rustin and Mist in The Color Purple in the same season. And you can see the breadth and scope of the work that I do and I'm interested in, and that I'm able to transform into, because I believe that that's what I could do, that I'm not limited to just playing a part of myself in some way. And even like, I love to even say that I hope people can see that, like, whether it's me and Jodie, we are openly gay and we're playing openly gay characters, but I hope that they also don't miss the craftsmanship that it took to create that. It's not like we just showed up.
You're like, I'm gay, I can do this.
I'm being gay. And just because people are like, oh, what part of people ask the question, do you see a lot of yourself in Bayard? I'm like, well, we're very different people. But of course, I use everything I can of myself to give breadth and scope to his soul as well. Yeah. So I think that, so for me, that's just what I'm interested, because so people always know that it's still craft and how we're crafting this. And just because we have some things in common, I think we have larger access points that we don't have to, but also still we have to craft it, what we're pulling from.
Yeah, awesome. Some more juicy tidbits and history making.
Yes.
We have a person of color in every acting category this year.
Wow.
Doesn't happen too often.
It doesn't.
You and Jeffrey Wright, second time in history that two black men are nominated in this category that aren't Denzel Washington and Will Smith.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They've done it. They're usually together, but one other time, it was, I think, the Poitier year and Paul Winfield. For Sounder. Yeah. And the second time we have two black men killing it together. And we used to hear this argument on the circuit. People were like, it's Colman or it's Jeffrey. I'm like, why has it got to be either or?
I think that's when I was reading some of that stuff before, when it popped up, I'm like, that's interesting to me that certain people are locks and then they swap in and out the two black guys. And I thought that was very interesting, because for me, I'm like, that's racist as hell. I'm like, what do our performances have to do with one another? We have very different performances.
Not saying Bradley or Colman.
Exactly. I'm like, Bradley or Colman, it would make more sense. We're both done biopics. You know what I mean? I feel it. But I thought, I see race in that. I'm like, oh, you can't imagine that two black men could be in the same category together. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
And so I feel a little,
Yeah. But
little vindication. I'm totally kidding. Not vindication, but
it definitely is vindication.
But it's kind of lovely.
I felt vindicated.
I respect Jeffrey so much, and I'm so glad that he's sharing this space with me right now.
Like, it's killing it. And then also, first Afro-Latino nominated in a leading acting category. And people were always like, Latino, he's black. I'm like, we can belong to both. Like,
this is the thing. That's a greater argument. You know, where people are like, they think it's all one way, or like
no,
no. Go to my dad and his whole family. They'll let you know.
and I'm so happy, not the only Latino, America Ferrera, God bless her heart.
Yes.
Coming on in.
That was such a beautiful surprise for me. I got very excited when I heard of her nomination.
You don't understand, like, as I saw, why I think I love this year, and listen, the Academy can get stuff wrong. We can get mad at them all the time. Mm-hmm. They're never going to get it fully right. But I looked at the lineup, I looked at the landscape, and I went, damn. There's a little bit for everyone here. It feels pretty
good this year.
It's for like, it was everyone. I was like, there's not like one side super lopsided. I mean, listen, there was like a lot.
It seemed like people really watched films this year.
It's a good year for movies.
It's a great year for movies. I think it's been an incredible year and a great class of people to be with.
I'm just like happy, and then Lily Gladstone obviously just makes my heart soar. So now looking at a little bit of what the things that didn't happen for Rustin, and Rustin's such a good movie, and George C. Wolfe, very, very talented director. They denied us Lenny Kravitz at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And listen, a little bit of Colman Domingo problem. Like, that dude's almost 60 and he's acting like he's not almost 60, looking spectacular still. But what was your reaction to, like, not seeing your comrade?
Oh man, he delivered such an incredible anthem for us and for the world with that song. I think that song should play on the radio, and it should still, I'm sure Grammys can come around and, as well.
It's full award season.
But it was a really tight category too. I really said there's a lot of really interesting songs from very different films, and so I was like, oh man, I knew that was missed, but it's the song, music lasts, and that will last to the test of time.
When you're looking now, and this is always becomes, I sound the alarms in this realm. You're an Oscar nominee. We did really good this year. The enemy of progress is complacency. And I say that because people will look at this year and go, racism's over. We did it, guys. Mm-hmm. We have people of color and Hollywood's fixed and we're all going to be okay. Mm-hmm. And I thank the Academy for what they did. And then I'm always looking, okay, what are you going to do for me next? I want to know what comes for Colman Domingo after Rustin. Like, thank you for the invitation this first time. I'm ready for a couple more. Mm-hmm. And we can just continue this ride.
Great.
But that's for everyone. Danielle Brooks, I look at her, America Ferrera, 15 years since she won an Emmy, and took us this long to be like, oh, like, you can actually do a lot of great stuff if we give you the opportunity. What are you about to embark upon after Rustin? What would you like to embark upon?
First, I hear a couple questions in there, and I want to answer one and then the other.
Yeah.
But one is, I think that hopefully, because I think people like you and I are groomed to always look at story and story that's outside of our experience. Mm-hmm. And I think the other way around, I think is hopefully happening a bit more to understand, like George C. Wolfe would say, it doesn't have to look like you to be about you. Mm. I can always find myself in movies like Poor Things or, things that are whatever, things that may not have people who look like me in it.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the other. And I feel like that's how we grow. That's how we have more diversity in storytelling. And that's how we get more eyes on things. That's one. Two is what's next for me. Something's probably going to be announced tomorrow. I think so. I think it's going to be in the press tomorrow, but I can't say just yet.
Well, I think you can say it now because this episode doesn't come out until Thursday.
When is it coming out?
This episode comes out on Thursday.
Because it's coming out tomorrow.
So I am agreeing to hear this without writing about it before tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Yes, there you go.
I am starring in the feature film biopic about Michael Jackson, and I'm playing Joe Jackson. That's a scoop. You're the first person that are told this. So.
Oh no!
I know. He's undoing he's undoing his tie. Everybody, you say he just got hot under the collar. He's stretching out. He's taking off the hat now, the glasses. It's all. He's rolling on the floor.
That is such. You're gonna gobble that to shreds. Like it is. it's so perfect. Like,
listen, I'm excited to do it with Jafar. Jermaine Jackson's son is playing Michael, and he is breathtaking. And I think they're Graham King, the producers, assembling this incredible cast. We just started shooting on Monday. So I have that, and then I have my movie Sing Sing will come out. A24 will look like we're targeting, May, June. It's going to have its U.S. premiere at South by Southwest.
Mm-hmm. Oscar weekend. Thank you very much for that.
Right. Exactly. So we'll figure out how we do that. And then I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. I feel like, since I've been off of Fear the Walking Dead, and I actually have more bandwidth, so I'm trying to figure out what's next. What do I feel like doing? What does my soul want to do? Yeah. What do I want to play with?
It's funny you bring up Fear the Walking Dead because one of my colleagues wanted me to ask you, like, do you miss Fear the Walking Dead? Are you missing a little bit of that? Or
not one bit.
You're like, I like this free time.
But not one bit, because I feel like I did everything I was supposed to do with that character. I feel like that was such a great, epic part of my life. And creating Victor Strand from season to season to a very different character, that was awesome. I did everything I wanted to do with that character. Now I feel like that chapter is behind me. Yeah.
I remember that's when I noticed that you were more than just an actor, because then you directed a couple of episodes. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh wait, no, Colman's not just like glide into this industry. Mm-hmm. He wants to like do something. He wants to do some stuff.
Right.
When are you stepping behind the camera feature film wise? We talked last year about something brewing.
Yeah, and it's still brewing, and it's like, I'm actually putting together a feature film about, I'm going to say it. Yeah, why not? Yeah, right? Okay. I'm putting together a feature film about Nat King Cole. I'm giving you two new scoops. Things I've never told anybody. But I've been working on this for some years now.
Really?
And I will play Nat King Cole, and I will direct it. It's a movie musical. And I
expect no less.
I co-wrote the script as well. And I've been working on it quietly for a few years, and now it's something I'm really moving forward to putting together with some great partners.
All right, I'm post Joe Jackson.
Yeah,
hopefully post Joe Jackson. Okay, yes. I'm ready for that. Got to ask you about Euphoria. Do you think this is the last season coming up?
The last season? I don't know. I think we're. I don't even know. I just feel like I know that Sam's been creating a season 3 that he's very excited about, and I know that we're looking at getting it started. I think in late spring or something.
Yeah.
So I think everybody's just excited about what comes out of Sam's mind. I know that Sam is an artist that likes to respond to the times, and so whatever is going on culturally or what people are seeking or hoping for, he's going to respond to the times.
Yeah. What's now an Oscar nominee? I assume you watched the Oscars growing up. What's like one of your favorite Oscar moments, like that you remember, that just stand out in history?
Okay, I'm one of those people that actually go back and look at YouTubes of like Oscar wins
all the time. Yeah,
and it's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. What stands out to me is like watching Faye Dunaway win for Network. I don't know, because I feel like that's one of my favorite performances.
Yeah,
she's just anyway. But watching her, the way they were, I feel like something about the 70s, the way people go up and collect their award, very classy. They looked like they wore, like Faye Dunaway looked like she wore a dress from her closet. It was beautiful. Her hair was a little tousled. And she goes up there and just say some gracious words and then leave. Yeah. Earlier in the...
She always glided into a room. She doesn't walk.
She breezes into a room,
She doesn't walk,
Yeah. I think that's a win, but also watching, I remember we all watched Halle Berry win. And that one was for so many people. And she honored that and dedicated that. So it was beautiful. Watching Denzel win, who else? I don't know. I love to watch like Sidney Poitier win his first.
Fun tidbit about Denzel, the last performance to win Best Actor that won no precursor awards that season before it was Training Day. He had lost to Russell Crowe 3 times at the Globe, SAG, BAFTA. He wasn't supposed to win on the night.
Really?
He wasn't supposed to win.
In there.
I always say that is like one of the perfect examples of just timing, because it was like he got nominated and people were like, oh, that's cool. And then Halle Berry lost the Globe, and then she won SAG, and we went, oh, that's actually really cool. And then they announced Sidney Poitier to be the Lifetime Achievement, and we went, oh, wait. That's interesting too. And then all the stars are aligning. We were like, and then I believe, I don't know for sure, I think this year Russell Crowe threw a phone. Really? I think that's the year he threw a phone. and he had just won for Gladiator. And then history presents itself. Wow. And we have that historic night. So I'm just saying.
History can be made.
We can do it.
Let's see, I lost the Globe. So that means I win the Oscar.
I mean, listen, we have SAG and BAFTA left.
So I win all of those.
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to lose those? So
I like. I don't know what that. I like some obstacles. Okay. I like some obstacles, man.
I'll shake it up a little bit. We'll see. Maybe I'll win one or two or none.
And you take it. You win whatever you're here, and it's an honor to be nominated, right? Yes. So I have two last questions for you. One is so fun that my friend gave me. So you love cocktails, and it's dry January. Yeah. What recommendation do you have for people who are not participating in this?
The funny thing is, I'm going to a dinner tonight, and I'm actually going to a dinner sponsored by Seedlip, non-alcoholic beverages. And I thought, am I going to have a good time? But I think I am, actually. I think because it is dry January, and we have to be responsible.
We're, 23 days?
Yeah, 23 days.
8 days left, man.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to a quote-unquote cocktail and dinner. So.
And try not to fall asleep. Exactly. for a little bit there.
Yeah, exactly.
Final question, man. And we sat here during between Christmas and New Year's a year ago. I was the jinx for you getting snubbed for new moon. God damn it. That's why I waited for after. It was all strategic. I was like, I'm gonna get him afterward. But listen, like, it's a moment that you're happy for the recognition, but there's got to be this feeling like this whole season being anointed so much. Palm Springs, you gave a powerful speech, gave the picture of you
in
Palm Springs when Rustin got acquired by Barack Obama. You're looking now. You're hung out with Oprah all year. like, man, it's I don't know if it's like, do you feel like do you pinch yourself sometimes? You're like, this, I can't believe this is my life. And then you have Raul, who is just honestly sweet as pie.
I was a good guy.
Still crying on the floor, probably at home.
Still probably.
Yeah.
You know what's wild? I think that I just try to be as present as possible, and it does take my breath away a little bit when I look at my life, or I look at where I'm going and the people that I'm around and people I have friendships with, people who are now truly my colleagues that are, whether it's Killian and Bradley and I are becoming friends, and Paul Giamatti and I texted today, and all these, but it's been a long time coming. So I feel like it's been building slowly, very slowly and organically. So I feel like I'm not as in awe. I just feel it's been tiny seeds planted for a very long time. And so now I'm like, wow, this is the fruits of my labor. This is like real fruits.
We had to water this plant for a long time.
And it was, at times it was struggling and on life support. And then now it's just kind of like, everything's flowering. Yeah. And it's beautiful because, whether I prayed over the plant and gave it some love and talked to it. Mm-hmm. That's what it feels like. It feels I know the work that has gone into it. And that's something I don't deny myself. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm lucky. I'm like, no, I work hard. And then I think I put a lot of love and care into what I do. And now it's coming back to me, which is great. So it feels really good. And it feels really, and everyone's been saying, oh, you're having such a moment. You're having such a moment. And I recognize that. And I know these moments don't come often. Yeah. And I don't know how long it'll last. But I do know that I feel very grateful and very centered and very sort of like calm. Every time I see you, and I see you out, people, I think people can tell I feel very calm and I'm having a good time. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing, to actually have a good time. And when you see me next time and I'm wearing like a gold jacket over my shoulders, I want to invite you to wear a gold jacket over your shoulders, Clayton.
So let me tell you something, Colman. And this is so important for me to say. because Rent the Runway doesn't really exist for men, and it kind of does. But here's the thing: some of us are still carrying a little holiday weight back from college, from college, and they don't really carry the right sizes that I can keep up. So I am spending my own money, and I unfortunately have not gotten nominated for an Oscar yet. And I'm not having.
I'm telling you, Clayton, you're a hat guy. You love hats.
I do love hats, but I also have
I think you should rock more like hats with like some color and
I do, but again, I struggle with hats too because I have a big head too. I wear
yeah.
I was
you
like
get some
there's fine
custom hats.
I have a lot of hats. I have a good amount.
Yeah, you do.
But then, like UJ state, this is like my go-to
like a gold hat or something on.
I have a gold hat.
You do?
I do have a gold
I've
hat.
never seen a gold hat.
I know. I has to go with the outfit. I'm all about accessories. When you can't change it up all the time, then you have to accessorize. Right. Listen, Colman Domingo, congratulations, sir. I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that you came back on the podcast. As an Oscar nominee.
I don't know. It didn't work out last time.
But it did this time. And I look forward to having you next year, or next 2 years, for 2 big projects that are going to be awesome, man.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clayton.
That's star and Oscar nominee Colman Domingo of Rustin, now streaming on Netflix. And that's it for this edition of Variety's Award Circuit Podcast. Zach Levin edited this episode, and Michael Schneider is the producer. Be sure to subscribe to the Award Circuit Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you download podcasts. Also, head on over to Variety.com and click on the Award Circuit tab to find the latest awards predictions and key races, as well as your daily fix of news, analysis, and reviews. For Jazz Tanke, Janelle Riley, and Clayton Davis, I'm Michael Schneider, and we'll see you on the circuit.
For your consideration, Max presenting the HBO original Succession. As power struggles ensue, the Roy family weighs up a future where their cultural and political weight is severely curtailed. Don't miss the series IndieWire calls the end-all, be-all of TV. Nominated for 5 SAG Awards, including Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series, Succession is streaming now on Max.